Good evening, everybody. I'm incredibly grateful, humbled, and honored to be presented with one of this year's Beloved Community Awards. Thank you so much to Miss Bernice King, the King Center, and thank you to everyone who is watching tonight. I stand before you with humility and solidarity in my heart, committed to a future where everyone is truly free. Community to me is the backbone of how we relate and live with each other as individuals. It is essential to a thriving, harmonious spirit. And in the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I know the beloved community requires, as he put it, quote, a qualitative change in our souls, as well as a quantitative change in our lives. I dedicate this award to Black, Brown, and Indigenous people, triumphant people whose resilience is the life force of every beloved community in this country. Black, Brown, and Indigenous people continue to thrive in the midst of systemic oppression, thrive with radical joy, unapologetically creating full and beautiful lives despite the systems of white supremacy that are intended to keep them from doing so. Thank you to the families, ancestors, healthcare providers, essential workers, activists, artists, writers, friends, confidants, educators, elected officials, caretakers, leaders, voters, and poll workers. I'm here because of you. This award is for you, and it is of you. It is impossible for me to find the words to express the reverence I feel in my heart. This is your award. The color of my own skin is not lost on me in this very racialized moment. I am aware that I am before you as Stephanie Germanato, my given name, as Lady Gaga, a famous white woman with the power of a large platform. And my racial identity alone centers my whiteness while I'm still very much finding my place in creating Dr. King Jr.'s beloved community. My actions fueled by some of my own racialized mistakes and missteps. I dedicate this award to people of color, period. I would like to share a bit about my own racial identity. In sharing some of my own story, I hope to shed light on the necessary discomfort I feel as I change my own beliefs and behaviors about race and social justice. I believe the beloved community is possible when and if people who look like me, other white people, commit to something I call unlearning. In my core, I feel that I am you and you are me. We are each other. Honesty and kindness are values I live by every day, and it is with these values that I want white people to know that tonight, as I talk about unlearning, I am speaking to you. Black lives matter. Black life matters. Blackness matters. Black joy matters. White people, I believe that Black life represents the best of our nation. And as white people, I believe we have a responsibility to unlearn, to accept the honest truth about the history of our country, admit that white supremacy makes us unhealthy, and change our own behaviors to contribute to a world where freedom is real for everyone. White people, I believe we must right our wrongs without shame. We must change our actions, and we must do this for ourselves. This is just one of our roles in the beloved community. To adopt some of Dr. King Jr.'s language, I believe white people must qualitatively heal our insides, and we must quantitatively change our actions and behaviors. Unlearning allows me to walk through the world differently. I no longer say I don't see color, as I used to say, but instead I now celebrate color abound. Saying I don't see color was once the greatest thing standing in my way of understanding what a beloved community requires. Unlearning means I look for racialized social constructs in every part of my life, every day, all day. I try to fight against them and change my own actions when I collude with them or benefit from them. Unlearning has given me a new set of eyes. The more I see with these new eyes, the more I change my own beliefs. The more my beliefs change, the more I change my own actions. The more my actions change, the deeper my commitment to a liberated community grows, and I hope my actions affect the actions of others. I choose to use the power of my platform to help grow Dr. King Jr.'s beloved community. For me, unlearning is love, not hatred. For me, unlearning is acceptance, not shame. For me, unlearning is the radical honoring of bitter truth, not avoidance of it. White people, I love us enough to say that I believe we need moral healing from holding centuries of unearned power. I want us to accept how we benefit from the systems of white supremacy in this country and then change our actions. I believe that Black, brown, and Indigenous life matters so much that we can never, ever passively stand by as the historical roots of oppression grow stronger. I have said it before and I'll say what I believe again. Racism is our nature in this country. I love us enough to be honest about this, and I love all of us enough to say no more. I'm not the first person to say this. Systems of white supremacy were designed by humans. They are literally socially constructed, which means they can be dismantled by humans. I believe that one way freedom can be possible is when white people accept that systems of oppression serve us while literally taking the lives of people of color. I accept these systems in all their sinister realness. And I believe white people must take action to change ourselves. Simply by default, white people who look like me are taught that we are fine and everyone else, those other people, need fixing. I invite you to join me in unlearning this American narrative. I invite us to stop asking what is wrong with them and instead relentlessly ask what is wrong with us. My unlearning is a path to healing and love in its most honest, raw form. My unlearning is a necessary invitation that opens the door to real freedom in this country. This unlearning is a gift in my life. I'm truly honored to receive this award tonight. Thank you, Black, brown, and Indigenous people, all of you. Thank you for centuries of radical love, centuries of imagination, centuries of innovation, and centuries of extending grace. This award is for you. I'm still finding my place on this path to a beautiful tomorrow. I will be unlearning for the rest of my life. And I'm working to create a world where freedom is real, where liberation is no longer something we have to fight for, and our country is changed for the better. In the beloved community of our future, we, Black, brown, Indigenous, and white people, embrace our collective humanity. Let us use love, criticality, and empathy to pour water on the flames of hatred and division. Let us use honesty, radical acceptance, and measurable action so that freedom is truly possible. With an open, humble, and fearfully optimistic heart, I invite all of us, and especially white people, to join me on the path to a beloved community. I believe that justice can finally begin to be realized, at least in part, when and if folks who look like me commit to a lifetime of unlearning. I love you. Thank you so much.